Okay guys, so as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, this is the Katsuki Bakougo ex-listener. I am sorry, I'm starting so many series. You guys probably don't know because I'm slow and I didn't tell you, but the Killua is a series one. This one is also a series I am starting. And I am trying to find male ex-listeners so I can read them because I'm not really good at writing them. So I'm just going to find some. I'll leave the links in the original thingies below, and then I'll read them for you guys. Oh yeah, and I'm calling the series Feelings Linger. This chapter is called Mouthful, and without further ado, let's get into the video. You sat in the stands with the rest of your classmates, waiting for the final battle to begin. Who do you think is going to win? Kaminari asked the two girls sitting in front of him, his arms propping him up. Definitely Todoroki. Mina jumped in her seat. Or Bakougo, she hummed. I don't know, they're both super strong, she then whined. I don't think it would be best to jump to conclusions, right, Wyan? The beautiful Ravenette asked, turning to bring you into the conversation. Though most of your classmates would call you biased, you were actually taking into fact of the outcome with both quirks. You opened your mouth to speak when Mina cut you off. And if you say Bakougo, I'll tell him. Come now, I wouldn't feed his ego. You should know me better than that. You waved off her statement with a smile. Right. She placed both of her hands together and leaned forward. So, who do you think is going to win? Yaoyazuru asked, leaning more to the side so she could get a better view of you. I think it depends, you said, glancing back over towards the ground. You wanted to sound serious because if you were to say it with a smile, you knew that you would be taken lightly. On what? She continued. You left your gaze on the boys beneath you and took a deep breath. How long Katsuki can keep Shoto on his feet? We all know Shoto prefers an easy and quick fight, so he'll definitely try to end things early from a distance. However, Katsuki is more of a hand-to-hand combat and likes a slow fight. You smirked. He likes to make sure his opponent knows who they're dealing with. You sighed. Don't say that like it's normal, Yaoyazuru shouted, causing laughter between you and Mina. Still though, it's obvious they're both extremely powerful. The fight is bound to be amazing, Kaminari said. Yeah, no doubt about that, you sighed. Hush, it's beginning. Mina shushed you lot as if you were in a movie theater and the ads just stopped. You watched intently, and with the aura created by your classmates behind you, you could tell they were doing the same. The fight began, and almost immediately Todoroki blasted ice from his feet. You saw Bakougo take this into account, but he was not quick enough to dodge. In your opinion, jumping at the perfect time for the ice to miss you and to catch your opponent off guard would be the logical thing to do. However, it seemed Bakougo was too caught up in the fight to think. You knew he wasn't simple-minded, and when he wanted to, or cared enough to do so, he was actually a great strategist. He acted like he didn't care, but always got the best grades. He was kind of like that one anime character you loved, Karma Akabane. Of course, your favorite character from that show was Ryo Nakamura. Karma, though, was the one that came to your mind when you thought of Bakougo's attitude around himself compared to everyone else. You jolted out of your mind when you heard shouting. Your eye colors shone through the light that perplexed the stadium. Bakougo and Todoroki both showed no sign of giving up. Something else you noticed was a bruise on Bakougo's chin. It wasn't there before, so you assumed it had happened when you were lost in your mind. How did Katsuki get that bruise? You questioned, leaning over towards Mina, though not taking your eyes off the fight. Todoroki managed to hit him when he burst through the ice at the beginning, she answered, her eyes also not leaving the scene. Bakougo seemed to be saying something to Todoroki, but the crowd was way louder than they were during your fight, so you could not hear. Wonder what they're saying. Same. Then, soon after, Bakougo rushed in with his hand up just like he had did when you fought him. Cheeky bastard, you mumbled under your breath with a small smile edged on your face. What was that? Mina questioned, looking towards you. Oh, sorry, I'm just talking to myself, you said, waving the pink girl off. Oh, okay. She faced back to the boys, you following her actions right after. Sorry, little time skip. He is pissed, you sighed, standing up from the seat next to Mina. What? Both Kaminari and Mina shot up their gazes at you. How can he be pissed? Kaminari asked. He won, Mina finished. I think it is because Todoroki did not use his full power on him like he did with Izuku. Yaoyorozu inclined one of her index fingers on her chin, looking up. First, you admired the girl. Even while doing something simple, she looked like a princess. Then you responded, right, now I'm going to have to go cheer him up. Well, you don't have to, Mina inclined. Yeah, I do, you said, hopping over her and Yaoyorozu. Why is that? Mina pressed further. Because, why did you have to cheer up Bakougo? You didn't have a specific reason for it, you just wanted to. I don't know. I just feel like it, you said, shrugging your shoulders. I bet I know why. Mina grinned while leaning on Yaoyorozu's arm. Momo also smiled at this, both looking up at you. Whatever, I'm gonna go find Boom Boom Boy, you stated in an irritated tone. Was all you heard as you left. Before you were completely out of sight, you flipped them off. Wankers, you muttered. As you wandered down the hall, pushing through people, you found his waiting room. You opened the door and found Bakougo sitting in a chair with his hands over his head being pressed firmly against the table in front of him. You stood in the doorway, leaning on it, one leg crossing the other. Your arms were also crossed as you smiled sheepishly at the once enraged boy. Want to talk about it? You asked, not moving a muscle. Bakougo's head shot up and fixed on your figure in the doorway. What do you want? He semi-shouted. For you to tell me what's bothering you. You sighed, beginning to walk over towards him. As you did, the door you had been laying your back on slowly swung shut. You stood in front of the ash blonde, not knowing if you should sit down or not. He watched as you carefully decided your actions. You thought it best to walk behind the boy and start stroking his hair. This was completely out of the norm for you, which absolutely confused Bakougo. Usually you would say, shake it off, loser, or be a man. This time, though, it was as if you were a whole different person, and not just you, Bakougo as well. Bakougo would, in a regular situation, push the person away or think that they were looking down on him. But this time he didn't. Confused at his own actions, Bakougo couldn't begin to question yours. He only knew that having you comb through his hair with your finger felt soothing, and so he did. He leaned into your touch and soon fell asleep. You smiled at his calm body. His chest moving up and down was the only movement he made, and his slow, quiet breathing was the only sound he made. It was the only thing you could hear for miles, but eventually, your feet got tired, so you tried to walk around a little, pulling a chair to the side and sitting next to him without him winking. Your attempt was short-lived as your arms were not long enough, and you did not trust yourself to try something else, much more careless. You took this time with a snuggling Bakougo and hugged him. Why you did this is unbeknownst to yourself. You had always thought Bakougo was attractive, but his temper made it hard for any girls or boys at that to ask him out. Once or twice a confession was attempted, but Bakougo was as dense as a raccoon and could not have comprehended the term of someone liking him, much like Todoroki. When you're not talking, you're actually bearable, you said to no one in particular. Is that supposed to be an insult? You heard. You stopped stroking the hair in front of you and looked down. There you found a grinning, conniving mastermind of a Bakougo. Maybe, you teased. I don't think you're at all bearable, he breathed. How rude, you gasped, placing a hand over your heart, acting as if his comment hurt you. When he rolled his eyes, you let out a small chuckle. What time is it? He asked. I don't know, you said. Let go of me and go check, he stated bluntly. A light shade of pink made its way up to your cheeks as you released the boy, realizing you were still holding on to him. How embarrassing, you thought as you walked over towards your phone. It's 5:20, you said. We should get back to everyone before it gets late, you said, pulling up the lazy boy in front of you. Okay, he said, trying to get you to release him once more. Although, he said, making you turn around. Soon your body hit the cold metal of the room wall. I'd much rather stay here with you. Katsuki, you stammered. His eyes narrowed and his smirk widened as his face grew closer and closer. Yes? Now, only inches away, you at a loss for words. You breathed. Your breath was shaken as the boy did tower over you somewhat. He again asked, your face now a crimson scarlet. Baka. You pushed him away and started walking up the room. Our class is waiting for us. We need to go, you said, the door wide open now. Buzzkill. He rolled his eyes. Teasing is not fun, you stated, flexing your eyelids shut. Whatever. He huffed. You stuck your tongue out and began messing with him, pushing him to the side and whatnot. Oh, and this is? He questioned as you went in for another shoulder push, glancing down at your small figure, bump into his on purpose. He moved to the side a little. Okay, my turn. He had a small but definitely creepy smile on. He walked faster to the side and shoved you with his shoulder, to which you responded by almost flying into the hallway wall. You rubbed the spot where he shoved you and looked up with the pout present on your face. No fair, you're bigger. All's fair and fun, he stated. Whatever. Oh look, I think I see them. You pointed out towards some of your classmates talking about the fight. Aren't you happy you won? Kirishima gave Bakougo a toothy grin as you both approached the group. What did I expect? You scoffed. You're so full of yourself. He again pressed his face down to yours. I'm sure you want to be too. Ew, never. You gawked at him. He laughed. Alright everyone, tomorrow we will reveal the results of the sports festival, but today is over. Let's aboard the bus and back to UA dorms and get some sleep. Your teacher Aizawa said, pointing towards the buses you were all to get on. Come on, Ryan, Mina called, Yaoyosuru waving as you made eye contact. Okay, you shouted, making your way over to them. Today was fun, don't you think? You sighed, looking out the bus window. You only think so because you kissed Bakougo twice, Mina shouted, causing everyone on the bus to stare and ooh at you all. Shut the hell up, Mina, he said, slightly embarrassed as you made eye contact with said boy. He smirked, making you look away again. Mina, let me use your headphones, you said, placing your hands out. Fine. She handed you a pair of long and white headphones. You grabbed them and began playing some of your favorite songs as you stared out of the bus window. Okay, so I made hella mistakes, but that's okay. And my little joke, you guys, I had such a hard time trying not to laugh, and you know, I ended up failing, but eventually I did get it. If you heard the joke, if you got the joke, comment down below. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye, loves. I'm sure you want to be too. Okay, stop. Okay. I can say this. I can say this without laughing. I can do this. Guys, I can't do this. I'm gonna laugh. Okay, I can do this. I'm sure you want to be too. I'm sure you want to be too. Ew, never. You gawked at him. Okay. Songs, it won't be long until